and just decided to find my major and my minor, and I landed it here at CDLP, and I lead with small biz. So I definitely love offering the small biz plan, but definitely offering a full package to the driver. What I learned in this space from the mentors on here is that some way, some form of fashion, we can really take care of that client. And it's not a hard sell. So just learning the industry, bringing more value to the drivers and the carriers have been just phenomenal for me and my business. So this call hasn't always been around, so take it as a privilege. Get all the nuggets you can. I actually host an accountability call on Thursday night. Those individuals have been plugging in probably about a year and a half, but they are starting to have some great success opening groups, making the dials. A lot of the names that you see on recognition comes from that accountability group, and they are focused on CDLP. We have a lot of divisions, so if this is your niche market, I just say just learn some things about the industry. The more value you can bring to the driver, along with LegalShield, that driver would definitely become one of your best referral partners. So with that, I'll pass it over to Lamar.
All right. Well, thank you, Sharanda. This is Lamar Reynolds. I'm out of Houston, Texas, and it's an honor to be on the call here tonight. And I've been with LegalShield now 16 years. Wow, time goes by fast. And my anniversary was June 1st, by the way. I've been selling the CDLP membership for about 13 years, and I've been a CDLP trainer for 12. And I've earned the 50,000 K ring and also the 100,000 K ring by selling the CDLP membership. And I run in the lane of transportation, and like Sharanda, I sell all these other products, but I do it through transportation. And I love selling the products in transportation type settings. And I just feel more relaxed, and I'm starting to really, I have my sea legs, so to speak, in that arena, and a lot of connections. So it's really been productive for me. And I'm praying that each of you will also find the opportunity in transportation as well. I've sold over 5,000 memberships through transportation. I'm part of the Special Forces and the Solution Emerald Elites. And I do a lot of bundle sales with CDLP and Legal Plan. And I'm just going to go ahead and give you a quick little nugget real quick, and then I'm going to pass it over to Robert, which I'll come back on in a few minutes and give you some more nuggets I'm going to tell you about. But I'm starting to, here in the state of Texas, we have the Texas LegalShield that gives people coverage for a concealed handgun. Well, I had a couple of drivers here a few months ago on my application up there at the top. They said, well, what is this gun owner's supplement? What is this? And I got to telling them about it. And in that particular class, I had two drivers that bought the CDLP, the Legal Plan, and the gun supplemental. And now I'm just bringing it up and talking about it each time I do a presentation. And today I had a driver that bought all three programs. And when I got over to him, I said, now you want both of my programs, right? You want the commercial program and the legal program, right? He said, yes, Mr. Reynolds, but I also want the gun program too. I said, well, okay, we can add that. You got the legal program, we can add that for $12.95. So if you're from the state of Texas, that same program in Texas LegalShield costs $21, and it covers the two spouses. So if they buy the legal plan here in the state of Texas, they can add that for $12.95. So I'm starting to really sell that a lot to my truck drivers, and they're wanting the gun program. So just FYI, there's another real tag on to the sales. So I still really bundle and promote the CDLP and the legal plan, but that's another, it's not a high dollar ticket item, but for $12.95, it's a great little add-on. And Mr. Robert, I'll turn that over to you now.
All right, appreciate that. And while you were talking, Lamar, I thought about a story that I meant to bring up in our back room to talk about. I don't know how it slipped my mind when we were talking about topics, but I'll get to it after I do my introduction. So real quickly, I'm Robert Dunbar. I've been with LegalShield 11 years, trained on the network side for 6 or 7 years, trained on the CDLP side for 3 to 4 years, and love the training, love working with CDLP, love that space. Less LegalShield people in the space, for one, less competition out there in the marketplace. And I love to sell products that are specific for the customer because it's an easier sale, right? We call that low-hanging fruit. So that's what it's all about. So I'm a 100K ring earner. I got 250K ring earners on my team. I work the networking side, the insurance agent side, what we call the broker side, however you label it, and also the business solutions and CDLP space as well. So again, like you did on the other certification trainers, guys, this is about understanding this product, understanding how it applies to the drivers, talking about how to get into companies so that you can do bulk sales and bundle the product. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk to you about how to go for no with the upgrades, right, of the sales. Like you should be hearing no at the end of every sale. And I'm going to tell you how to do that here in the CDLP space. And you can apply this to any part of LegalShield, even if you're not doing CDLP. But keep in mind, guys, there isn't a lot of information going on about this space with the company, except on the CDLP certification trainers, which one is coming up June 19th. We're gonna talk about that. We're also going to be doing a live event in Orlando for those that want to come out there. We'll talk about that. And then Sharanda Ivy has a Thursday call that she does, that she just spoke about, that help people in the field as well. So this is where you get the information. So if you got people on your team, if it's you, if it's somebody's sideline, if it's somebody you're a workout partner with, guys, keep in mind, get them plugged into these calls this Monday night, Sharanda's Thursday night, the CDLP certifications that happen on the third weekend, the third Saturday at 10 Central every single month. Get them plugged in to all of those things so that they know exactly how to do the CDL, and then work with a field trainer so they can open up your first CDL group. That's pretty much how the process works. So for those that follow me at all on Instagram or YouTube or any of those things, you guys know that I talk about promoting yourself, branding yourself. You guys will hear Sharanda talk about that when she talks about different things. We got several trainers that talk about, hey, brand yourself as that rep that people know that they can call you to make sure that the services is taking care of them like they should. And I do a lot of promoting. Some of you guys, y'all know, because some of y'all done unfriended me on Facebook, y'all done unsubscribed my emails. I know y'all out there, right? But that's all part of marketing. That's all part of marketing. If that's not happening, then you're not marketing enough. So I already know that. If people are not unsubscribing from my emails, that means I'm not sending enough out. If people are not blocking me on Facebook, that means I'm not prospecting enough on Facebook. So to me, that is me going for no, right? So I'm always marketing about our product and about our sales. Let me tell you how, when we do indirect marketing, because I talk about when you're online, because social media platforms, that is the new way to market yourself, because you can't really go door to door as much anymore in this climate, in this current time. So marketing online is really the way that you do it. So Friday night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And actually you can actually go to the video, the CDLP video I have on the YouTube channel, and you can kind of see where the conversation started, right? Because it happened real time. About 2 o'clock in the morning, a young lady hit me. She hit the video. One of the video that we did, right? Our annual video that we put together every year. Catherine Pouliot, Lamar Reynolds, Sharanda Ivy, myself. We added Randy this year, right? Not the 2021 that we just did, the second annual in 2020. A young lady got on that video and messaged on it. She didn't message me. She didn't know Lamar. She didn't know me. She didn't know Sharanda. She didn't know any of us. She got on that video and she says, how can I become an agent to sell this product, because my brother is a truck driver and he just had got into an accident and lost his job? Well, guess what? I saw that comment come through. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm up working. I saw the comment come through. I went there and I said, are you looking to become an agent with LegalShield so that you can market the product to CDL drivers? She said, yes. I messaged her back, give me a call tomorrow. She said, can you talk now? I said, yes. She emailed me. She was in Atlanta. She said, I'm an insurance agent in Atlanta, and somebody introduced me to prepaid legal years ago, and they never followed up, and I never heard anything about it again, and it seems like this is the same product. I said it is. We had a short conversation. Not only at 2 o'clock in the morning did this lady have me send her over the general agent package to become an insurance agent with LegalShield. Sent it over to her. She sent it back to me. But I'm doing a Zoom this week with 13 agents that she had working under her to bring the 13 agents in as well into LegalShield. Why? Because they saw a video about our product, and she happened, it's all about timing. She happened to have a brother who just got fired because he had an accident in a truck. He's CDL, she has a CDL license. This insurance agent has a CDL license that she no longer uses. And her husband has a CDL license that he no longer uses. So she was familiar with CDL. She was familiar with prepaid legal. She wasn't familiar with LegalShield, and she didn't know that we had a product for truck drivers. So you see how that happens? Like indirect marketing. We are talking about our product online, doing a video, and I end up recruiting an insurance agent. And now there'll be, I don't know if all 13 are going to join. I don't know how many are going to join. Might be one, might be all 13. Who knows? But at the end of the day, those insurance agents will be looking to market this product in our legal and identity theft service because I indirectly market online, right? That is always the purpose. So really, I'm shooting this video on Zoom for us to have as a training, but I run it on YouTube Live. Because I run it on YouTube Live, guess what happens? Other people see it, a whole world of people. And the girl, she even said it. She said, look, she said, I don't know how this video got to me. She said, I don't follow you. I don't know you. I'm not involved with LegalShield. And somehow this video ended up on my page for me to take a look at. And I looked at it, and that's how it all happened. So algorithms are algorithms. I don't know how that all happened, but what I do know is I'm now getting some business out of it. Why? Because we're talking about the product. So it's the intention and communication, kind of where that all happens. So I just want you guys to keep in mind the indirect marketing that we talk about doing, going online and talking about what it is that you do. We're talking about it in the space where you're doing what you love to do. So when I'm talking to the people that I work with, I say, look, join groups on Facebook, but don't join groups that do business so you can do business in them. Join groups that have to do with things that you love to do. If you like to travel, join the traveling group. And when you make friends in that group, you're adding to your warm market, and you can now market our company, market our services to people because they're going to ask you what you do because you're adding to your warm market by joining groups genuinely about things that you like to do. And business will come up as opposed to joining a business group where everybody's just selling to each other or at least attempting to. So that's just a nugget there for you guys to indirectly market that way. I use YouTube as a marketing tool. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. Yes, people get on and watch my videos for whatever reason, but I have made sales through YouTube. I have promoted myself through YouTube by using YouTube and shooting videos and put them on the channel. So that is another platform that you can advertise. So if you ever take a YouTube training class, any of that, they'll tell you that this is a way for you to boost your business through having a YouTube channel. So it's important to really market different ways. And in this day and time, online is the best possible way. This lady is in Atlanta, guys. So at the end of the day, I would have never met her outside of her looking at a YouTube video that we put together. So I wanted to give that quick story. I forgot about that story. It happened this weekend, but wanted to kind of give that quick story. So I don't know who wants to go first. I don't know whether Sharanda, you want to talk about something first, or Lamar, you want to talk about something first? What you guys got going on, Lamar?
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk first if you want me to.
All right, go ahead. Floor is yours, brother.
I've got 3 nuggets for everybody that I want to talk about. I did a safety meeting this past weekend, and I'm starting to have safety meetings just about every weekend now, because here in Texas, they're really opening it up. And just about everywhere I go, I don't even wear a mask now. And the only place that they make me wear a mask is going into the post office. So they still enforce that. But anyway, one of the drivers coming to the safety meeting on Saturday witnessed a fatality on an exit that comes in on Interstate 45. Well, actually, this car, it was going so fast, it got up on the retainer wall and flipped over. And so he was on 45, bam, there come the car crashing down. He saw it. And then the person was laying out there on the side of the road and said he slowed down and, oh my goodness, and saw that. And then he came on to the meeting. So he was pretty shook up. And the safety director got to telling us about I-45 is the second most deadly interstate in the country. And I-10 is the fourth deadliest interstate in the country. Now, I-10, if you'll notice the interstate systems, the even numbers, like I-10, go from east to west. The odd numbers go from north to south. And so there's a lot of people on this call here tonight that maybe live close to I-10, and that is a very deadly interstate, and I-45 was too. So as I got into my presentation there, I just wanted to kind of give you that information. There you go. There's something you can write down. At my presentation, I have a login sheet. And if you're making notes, and you know when I say that, you should be making notes. My little login sheet that I pass around, it's got the name of the company at the top. And then the second line, I have the date. And then the third line, I have a presentation sign-in sheet. And then I have like a spreadsheet that's got 3 columns. One is for the name, one is for the cell phone, and the other one is for the email address. Okay, so it's got that. And I have this, if it's a big group, I have 2 clipboards with this on there. And so I'm up front and I'll start off my little presentation. You know, I'm here to talk to you about protecting your CDL, which is the most important thing you have. And you need to do everything you can to protect your CDL. And that's just what this program does by taking the DOT tickets and speeding tickets. And so I go through that and I'm telling them how aggressive the DOT really is. And then I go right into our Operation Safe Driver Week that all of you, I'm sure, have a copy of, that is for July the 11th through the 17th, okay? Now, I didn't let them know I had a copy of it, but I was telling them about it because in the past, if I brought one of these sheets to the safety meeting, the safety director said, hey, let me have that. And he would go make a copy and give everybody in the meeting a copy of that. But I didn't do that. I was telling the drivers about this blitz. It's a national blitz on July the 11th through the 17th. They're going to be targeting speeding. They're going to be targeting reckless driving, distracted driving, like with, you know, if you got a cell phone, following too close, improper lane change, all of these serious violations. They're going to be enforcing that on July the 11th through the 17th, especially, and I told the drivers, do not speed during that week. Don't go over the speed limit 1 mile an hour. You want to stay below the speed limit that week. And I said, how many of you folks would like a copy of that letter? Man, everybody there wanted it. And I said, well, I'm sending my sign-in sheet around. If you'll give me your name, phone number, and email address, I see some smiles on the, yeah. If you will log in on that, I will email you that document. Now, I tried that just to show you what I did an experiment last weekend, and I did it again this weekend at my safety meeting. I got 100% participation of every driver signing in on that sheet. I got their name, I got their phone number, I got their email address. So the one for last weekend, I've already sent that form out to everybody. And I'm reminding them about my program and signing up with me. Okay. So there you go. There's a nugget there. The other thing that I want to talk about, I'd like to tell you a quick little testimonial. And then I'd like to tell you a situation that one of our Monday night people that is on this call went through with a driver. But I had a situation at a scale house on I-45 north of Houston, where one of my groups, the driver went through the scale house. There, as he went across the scale, he opened the door. Of course, the DOT wanted him to open the door. He wanted to check his paperwork. And he was smoking these little bitty small, it's smaller than a cigarette. It's like real tightly bound, like a little cigar. And he would, I guess, throwing them on the floor. Well, that officer looked at that and he says, "You've been smoking marijuana. That's marijuana." He said, "No, that's not." He said, "Yeah, that is marijuana." And so that officer, he swept it all into a Ziploc bag and wrote him a ticket for smoking marijuana in a commercial vehicle. He said, "Now pull the truck over there and you're out of service." Well, the safety director called me from that company and told me what happened. I said, "You go get him immediately and take him and get him tested." And they did. And he came back negative. And so I referred that to my transportation attorney here in Houston, which I know quite well. And I told him, I said, "My driver has been suspended. They won't let him drive until we adjudicate this." And so my transportation attorney got a hold of the DA at that court. And that case never went to court. He got the DA to throw that case completely out. Now, I'm telling you this for a reason. Okay, and I've told everybody on this call that story before. So I'm telling you that so you'll know if it relates to drugs or alcohol and your driver says that they're not guilty, you make sure they go immediately and get tested. Well, I had a person, and I'm trying to pull their name up in my mind, but the driver was pulling a mail truck. Well, Homeland Security had been tailing this truck and probably some other trucks. And anyway, they stopped him and they wanted, and they did a sobriety field test. We had to walk the line and, well, you know, he'd been driving for 7 or 8 hours and he was kind of stiff. And so he might have stumbled around a little bit on the line, toe to toe, you know, walking. And he said, "Well, you did pretty good on the test." He said, "Most people struggle with that toe to toe thing." And he says, "We'd like to search your truck for drugs." And he said, "Well, go ahead. I don't have anything up there." And so they searched the truck. There was no drugs there. And they said, "Well, we need to search your trailer." Well, it's got a lock on it, a seal on it, and you're not supposed to cut that seal. Driver didn't put that on there. The post office did. And so they cut that and put their drug dog up in there, and he sniffed around and smelled some drugs. Well, he said, "Well, I have nothing to do with that." And they said, "Well, we want you to take a drug test, a blood test." And he refused. Okay. And when you refuse as a commercial driver, this is the point I'm driving to you right now. When you refuse a drug test or blood test, you're considered to be positive. Okay. And so they wrote him a ticket that under the influence of drugs in his system. So anyway, there was a person that's on this Monday night call, and she called me and was going through that. And I talked with the driver. We did a 3-way phone call. And this was on Monday, and this situation happened like on I think it was either a Friday night or Saturday night. And here we are Monday afternoon. It's about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. And I told the driver, I said, hey, my friend, you need to go immediately and do a test. He said, well, why? I mean, I refuse to do that blood test. I said, well, I can't much blame you out there on the side of the road, but when they bring you in to the precinct there, you should take that. Well, why should I take that? I said, well, if you're not on drugs, I said, have you been taking any drugs? No, sir, I don't take drugs. I said, well, that would have cleared you on that charge. You got to be smart about that. I said, yeah. And so if you refuse a drug test, you are considered by the FMCSA and the DOT regulations as being guilty, as being positive. So remember that. And so I don't know what happened on that case. They were going, I said, hopefully you can get there this afternoon. The quicker, the better to be tested. Because some of the drugs in your, like marijuana, it may stay in your system for up to 30 days, depending on if you're a big person. Other drugs, 12 hours, 24 hours, 30, I mean, it starts to drop off. I used to have a chart of all those things. But anyway, this person was going to get that drug test. I said, that can clear you of that charge, because if you're found guilty of that, that can end your driving career right there. And there was 2 more little charges that they wrote up on him, because they said that as they were tailing him for 3 hours, they said that his tires went across the white line over on the right-hand side. And so we observed you going over the line and coming back into the lane a few times. And so that's the reason we stopped you. We feel that you're under the influence of something. That's what they told him. And I said, your drug test could disprove all of that and would clear you on that. So I just wanted to share that with everybody tonight so that you can be wise if a safety director or driver happens to pop that question to you about drugs and alcohol. And I've had quite a few cases here in Houston. I've had an alcohol case and a drug case that we got both of those dismissed. And I just pray that this helped out the associate and the driver. So anyway, there's one, there's another. That's a big nugget for you. The sign-in sheet that I just gave you earlier of these documents that we have every month for you associates. If you're in front of a group doing a presentation, that's how you get their name, their phone number, and their email address. And it's worked twice, 2 weeks in a row for me, and I got 100% participation of that. And then for the deadly interstates across the U.S., 45 that runs north and south is the second deadliest interstate in the U.S., and I-10 is number 4. So that's just a little bit of information for you as you're standing in front of drivers. So, Robert, I just wanted to take a few minutes and go through that. And Sharanda, I'll toss it over to you.
Real quickly, Sharanda, before you go, Lamar, did that person lose their job? You said you're not sure whether the person lost his job, that driver?
On the one that I was telling you about in Texas, or
yes.
Well, that driver was suspended. And suspended, they would not dispatch him until we got the case resolved. So Top Logistics, that's one of my groups here in Houston, put that driver on suspension, and the safety director called me. And so we had him to go take a drug test. And so the safety director the next morning called me and said, hey, Mr. Reynolds, he is clean. I said, well, send me that ticket. And so they sent it to me, and I got that over to our transportation attorney. I entered that at Riggs and Abney and referred it to our local attorney by name. and I got it over to him, and he went out of his way, Robert, to make contact with the DA for that particular court. He knew that local attorney. See, a good attorney knows the law. A great attorney knows the judge and the DA. Well, this great attorney knew the DA and got a hold of the DA. Sharon, you like that, don't you? That's a good nugget there. Yeah. So the great attorney knew the DA, and he was telling him about the drug test coming back negative, and I had provided him a copy of that because the safety director sent it to me, and I sent it to the transportation attorney. And the transportation attorney sent that to the DA, got the DA on the phone and say, hey, look, this is, you know, in the opinion of the police officer, he says he's been smoking marijuana and he is clean. And that was not marijuana he was smoking. And so the DA agreed with the transportation attorney and threw the ticket completely out. And my driver was back on the road within 2 days.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So that right there is powerful stuff. When you have that driver and the safety director, they call you because they're needing help, and you give them good direction, man. And I've got so many referrals from that trucking group because of that. Sure. For drivers.
Yeah.
But
and there was a question about that document, like the flyer for the 11th through 17th of July. Somebody was asking, how do you get that flyer, that letter, that flyer?
Well, as you know, Robert, we have that posted in Facebook, right? Under files.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all you got to do is go get that off of our commercial drivers legal plan and print that off. I have that. I've been merchandising that because we're in the month of June, and this is coming up in July. And you only have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3 more weeks to use this document to really merchandise to your prospects and your customers. But I used it in a presentation to capture the name, phone number, and email address of every driver. Now, in other meetings, Sharon, when I send my clipboard around to say if there's 20 guys there, I might get 5 or 8 of them that will sign my sheet and put their name and phone number and email address. The rest of them don't put anything on there because they just don't want to give out the information. But I gave them a reason to put their name on there and their email and phone number. 100% participation last week before last, and this past weekend. I've done 2 safety meetings, 2 weekends in a row, and got 100% participation out of both of those groups. It works, and I'm gonna do it again, and I'll let you guys know. But I'm very excited because I keep that in my files, and I will mark everybody that I know that is a member, and the rest of them. I'm calling them and emailing them about my program and following up, and I will sell additional memberships because I have their contact information. That's powerful.
So Lamar, we call that a lead magnet, and I know you know that, but for those who are listening, if you're taking notes, write the word down, lead magnet, LEAD space MAGNET. So what Lamar did was Lamar did a live physical lead magnet as opposed to what you may hear about online, which is an online lead magnet, meaning you touch something online, and before you can get it, you can download it. They have you give your name and email before you can download the document so that they can continue to follow up with you, right, via email. So what Lamar has done is he's created a way to do that live in person. So I'm telling you guys, he said it works 100%. That's a big deal. So if you don't take anything else away from the 40, 45 minutes you've been on this call, this Zoom, a lead magnet. Get one of the documents that we have all the time on this. You know, if you're going to do live events, live trainings, safety meetings, speaking, whatever you're doing at these trucking companies, print off a good document, right? A good clean document that's professional looking, and let those guys know, hey, I'll have this for you guys all. If you go ahead and sign this, this form that I have going around, I will shoot you an email within 24 hours with a copy of this, so you have it to pull up on your own. That's a great way to get your contact information. So Lamar, thanks for that quick nugget on Lead Magnet.
I'm working with another associate here that's on this call each week, Freddie Gibson, and we're going to be doing a group presentation coming up, hopefully in a few weeks. At this group, we're working together, and I'm going to have Mr. Freddie to give his testimony of how this works concerning the sign-in sheet. Instead of me saying something about it, I'm gonna get Freddie Gibson to talk about it after we do that presentation together. So that's going to be a few weeks from now, Mr. Robert, but I'll let you know when we do it, and we'll get Mr. Freddie Gibson to speak to the group.
All right, sounds good. And Consuela, I see your hand up, but we're not taking questions yet. So I'm gonna turn it over to Sharanda first to make sure she can talk about her topics. But I know you got a question, so you can either type it in the chat, Consuela, or when Sharanda finishes, I'll call on you. Sharanda?
Okay. For those that are new on the call, what he just went over is gold. Like tomorrow's the blitz, right?
Right.
And you're trying to figure out what to say. Talk about the flyer. But for those that are making dials, I can remember when I got started, some days you just get it all twisted. Like you don't really know how to start that conversation when you're prospecting. But if you just have a conversation, sadly enough, it's a lot of drivers out there that deals with, how many drivers? I know it is 74 of us on here. How many of you guys, just think about it, have met or heard somebody that says, hey, can y'all help with DUI? I got a DUI. Or I know somebody that got a DUI. Can y'all help with that? Or how many of you heard, maybe you've heard a safety manager say, one of my guys got caught with, drugs, or you see it on the report. Better yet, you see it on the report and you don't ask one of these field trainers, can we help with that? What can we do with that? They're asking me, what can we do with that? Lamar just gave you a story of how that situation turned around with our program. So I think we need to stop. And I mean, I'm guilty of that, trying to figure out all the ins and outs. We talk about this on the accountability call. That's not our deal. Like, we're not the lawyers. And even though you're talking to that driver or safety manager, I promise you, it's a part of the puzzle that they're not sharing with you that can make the difference of the outcome of the situation they're in. And as associates, we're associates. We are not attorneys.
That's right.
And so we have to get out of that. Can we help with that? Can we do that? Right? Just know that they have a commercial license. They don't have to have a CDL, just if they're just driving commercially. So just think about that. If they're driving commercially, whether they have a CDL or not, and they can do that. For those that don't understand that, everybody drives commercially, doesn't hold a CDL endorsement. But if they're driving up under someone's authority, their DOT number, their MC number, whatever they do in their personal and commercial vehicle affects their license. Stop trying to figure out if we can help with that and try to show the value of having our service. So when they do come into those situations, hopefully they don't. Drugs is not a good thing behind the wheel. But I mean, we can't control that either. But our job is to help them somehow see the value by asking questions so they can be in the program. So when these things happen, Lamar guy, his little funny cigarette, he was accused of drugs, just like that. And even though it's DOT, they're still people of the law. And it's normally their word against the driver's word. And a lot of times the drivers end up on the bad side of the stick because they don't know how to defend themselves. They don't have an attorney. But Lamar gave you a conversational piece for that. And it doesn't have to be that severe. So for those non-trivial or non-traumatic things or whatever, the trivial things, lead with that flyer. I promise you, it makes it so much easier when you have something to talk about besides CDLP plans. It removes the fear, the trembling in your voice. Even if you memorize the flyer and that's all you talk about, it's just easier. And he just gave some phenomenal testimonials, because most time when we drop that prospect or we start prospecting, we're prospecting to people that need our service, but they don't know we exist, so they don't know they need what we have. But when they do come back to you, it's always after the fact of something bad. So just that story right there, I mean, I tell you all the time, when somebody come back to me, if it's normally bad, like, and that's the worst you can get right there, a drug charge or accused of that. Because I remember Lamar told me, I never forget, and that's my deal. Somebody asked me, hey, can y'all help? I got pulled over and my driver, either the driver or the owner operator. I got pulled over, I got this charge. This on our safety report. Or I had a guy, his brother had a drug charge on their safer report. And Lamar said to me, tell him he needs a new career. And I didn't even have to explain it, right? All I said was, I said, sir, one of my business partners, he's been doing this a while. And, just with that on your record, it's probably best if your brother probably just look for another career. And he did, because he never got that fixed. So I just say that because I know we have the fear of trying to get it right, or how we going to start this conversation. I know it's a lot of you on here all the time. I hear it all the time. What should I say? Just be that resource with that flyer right now, because in 3 weeks, they're going to need us. And they're going to need us after the fact too. But right now, plant the seed so they'll know who to come to, because even though we would hope that they would get the plan, they're probably not. So after the fact, let them know that you, Rosie, have the key, right? So they can get the plan. So plant the seeds. So I thank you, Lamar, because I that story right there, I can use it, because people ask all the time with those bad habits. But I want to share about the blip. You want to say something, Lamar? Go back.
Yeah, I was just going to add something to that real quick, which I've started doing the last 3 presentations that I've done. I've asked the drivers, how many of you drivers here have paid an attorney to represent you on a ticket? Raise your hand. Just about everybody raise their hand. How many of you folks have paid more than $500 for an attorney to represent you on a ticket? And today I had on a new driver orientation class, I had 4 guys there. 3 of them raised their hand. Over $500. And one guy says, I paid over $1,000. And I said, well, once you're in our program, LegalShield, after you pass the 11th day, on the 11th day, LegalShield pays that attorney fee. And so I've started doing that in the last 2 or 3 presentations, Sharanda, and it's very effective. And I just wanted to throw that nugget out there, to throw that question out in front of the drivers. How many of you have paid an attorney fee to represent your ticket? And of course, just about all the drivers raise their hand. How many's paid over 500 and 1,000? And I said, if you're from the great state of Texas and you get a ticket in Colorado, Arizona, and especially California, in California, it's over $1,000 just to represent you on a little speeding ticket. I mean, these attorney fees, and if you just get one of these tickets a year, my program will pay for itself. So there you go. There's a little nugget there, Sharanda. Thank you.
Awesome. And then with that, Lamar, too, what I found is that those those ones that have went out and got an attorney and they thought that their ticket was fixed, because that's what the lawyer said. But you ask them, well, did you get the order of dismissal so your safety manager could data queue that? And they're clueless. They're like, no. But it's that same driver that paid $500, $1,000 for that attorney to represent them. Because just like anything else, I don't know if anybody else on the line like me got a ticket, but those attorneys in those states start sending postcards to those drivers, trying to help them with their with their citations. Whether they specialize in transportation or not, they choose an attorney, and that attorney goes to court supposedly for them. I had a driver that called me, his brother referred him to me, and he had that same incident, Lamar. He had paid this attorney all this money up in Maryland to get his citation fixed. So he went to court for him. And he went to Leeson. He was an owner op. He went to Leeson with the company, what he called a good company. And when he went to Leeson with the company, they wouldn't hire him because he had these violations on his record of what he thought the attorney he had paid corrected. Because that process of the order of dismissal, the data queue part, was never done. He just gave the attorney his money. So those are things, but all that comes with questions and educating the drivers, because had Lamar not asked that question, that thought wouldn't have went in their head. All they know is here's another individual here selling a product. He's just a rep. But I paid an attorney before I've done that. But Lamar is here telling them, yeah, you paid that attorney that, but I have a program here where in my program, those legal fees probably could have been paid for, taken care of. Plus, you have a transportation attorney to help you with data queue and to get it off your record and your company's record. That's just education. So we ask a lot of questions, we'll get to this point where we can know that that driver is not really educated. And if you can ask those questions, then you can show the value of what we offer. That's just some tips, guys. That's just what I learned here, and by talking to drivers. So that's, just what I learned. But, I just want to share, we got the Blitz tomorrow. I know we're coming up on 9:30. We got the Blitz tomorrow. For those that participate in the Blitz, normally have a pre-training and a after training. Lamar Reynolds, I saw you on the Blitz. I heard your name called last week. So for those that have maybe never got on or just don't really know, it's just that energy of everybody doing the same thing. So whether you make one call or two calls, just get on and call somebody, right? And it'll become easier. You'll become to prepare yourself a little bit more. If you participate in the Blitz, you have field trainers there that you can partner with. And we have some great incentives with those. Getting on the Blitz, if you partner with the field trainer and get on the Blitz, that pays off for you. So you help you open those new groups. For those that may not get the newsletter, we have a weekly newsletter come out on solutions with all the updates and solutions, all the new links. I learned this week. If you get that email from Solutions, Business Solutions once a week, and you're that person that says, we got to go here to get this link, and we got to go here to get this link. Well, in this space, in the solution space, if you get that email, at the bottom, all the new resources, meaning all the updated flyers, everything that you ever could think of that you can't ever find in LS Engage is in that email. So if you wait patiently on Mondays, that email right there will be a gold mine for you, because all the new flyers, all the updates and everything for solutions is in that email. The leaderboards, recognition, the incentives, all your links on the on-demand. So check your emails for that. If you scroll through it and don't look at it, you are missing out on a lot of valuable information. So just look into that. But if you scroll to the bottom, it'll say new resources. And those are the updated flyers and all the information in solutions, and it's updated. So you don't have to search through LS Engage trying to find that, okay? So, and for those that want to get on our accountability call, I just want to shout out to those individuals that participate in that, those ones that get on and hang out all night, but those guys are really collaborating or doing some phenomenal things. So kudos to you guys. I know you heard some of them on the Solutions Expo, but they're figuring it out. You know, Wanda was highlighted. She takes vacation time to do the blitz. She takes time to get on her regional training call. So that's commitment. So just think about how committed you are here. So thank you guys for plugging in every Monday night to this. You know, it really pays off. So then we're going to talk about, we have an upcoming CDLP online training with Chris Seeley and Alan Roman on this Saturday from 10 Central. And 5 hours later.
3 o'clock.
It starts at 10 Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. You do it for your time zone. I can tell you that much. And it goes 5 hours. I know that much. But
10 o'clock to 3 o'clock Central.
Yeah, 10 and 11 o'clock Central, that online training for you guys. We also have, if you just have new associates that got started, they can take business solutions training too. I think we have a training coming up. They just updated something. I got an email, but again, check that. I got June 18th, level 1, but I think something updated. So make sure you check the calendar. June 25th is level 2. That's what certifies you to do group in this space. But level 1, if you never went to level 1, guys, go to level 1. That teaches you how to maximize your list and how to work with the field trainer. Okay. Marty Galano does a great training on that. And I really, really think that is an awesome training. So, and so Dunbar, I want to talk about, we will be in Orlando next weekend, the 26th and 27th. It is a mindset weekend on how to really do business as an entrepreneur. It will be hosted. It's a LegalShield event hosted by one of the teams in LegalShield, but it's a mindset weekend, helping you sell more and getting your mindset to do whatever you want in the entrepreneur space. But I'll be training on Saturday along with one of my mentors, Mr. Robert Dunbar. We'll both be training there on Saturday, but then on Sunday, we will be doing some CDLP training. It's non-certification, but we will be training in that venue at Shingle Creek on that Sunday. So if you have a ticket to the event, you have a ticket to the training on Sunday. So with that, Dunbar, I pass it over to you.
So for those listening in, so get this right. If you're certified in CDLP, right? You already got your certification training last week, last month, last year. It doesn't matter when. You can come to Orlando if you can make it there. I'm not telling you to come out here for that. If you can make it there on Sunday the 27th from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, we are going to do the same certification training that we do, but you're not going to have to pay for it because we're not certifying. So if you're already certified, it's a retake for you. So you can come in and take that training for free, and now you got your live training at no cost to you. So if you're coming to that event already, then just come into that room on Sunday at 3 o'clock, and we'll be there doing that training for you all. If you are not certified, that training will not certify you. But if you're interested in doing CDLP and you come and you sit in that training, now at least you understand it. And then when you go online and take the certification on whichever time whatever third Saturday you decide to do it, now you've got a little bit more information on CDLP. And remember, it's not costing you to take it anyway. So you might as well take it if you can get there conveniently. So Sharanda and myself will be training together. And like she said, on Saturday, we're going to be training on business. So what we're going to be talking about on Saturday is how to operate and do LegalShield, but do it as an entrepreneur, how to do it as a business owner, how to go into places and use you and your business technique and tactics, your company, however you set up to grow your LegalShield business in that aspect. So So that's kind of where it's at. So just keep in mind, guys, great training. I know Cliff Malloy is flying in to train at this event. Alistair Edwards is coming in to train at this event. Mike Melia will be training at this event. Sharanda Ivy will be training at this event. I'll be training at the event. And actually, there's like a host of other people. I think it's like 5 or 6 other trainers coming.
Steve Millions flying in from Panama.
Steve Millius flying in. Kelly Rose coming up from South Florida to train as well. And I believe Alistair Evers and Kelly Rowe are training together. And they're talking about recruiting into the B2B space. So there's going to be a lot of training going on there if you can make it there. So that is going to be the weekend of the 26th and 27th of June. So just keep that in mind if you guys are going to be coming out to that event. So did we forget anything else that we need to speak about, trainers?
They'll be doing COVID testing on site, or you can bring a negative test within the week or 3 days, as well.
I got my vaccination done now. I'm straight.
I got my vaccination too, but I'm gonna do my COVID test too.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
I have my card too. Like I'm gonna card y'all.
Hey, Consuelo, go ahead and ask your question.
I had a really short story to share with you. It regards drinking or when you're driving where you get stopped. Here's the story. One of our associates was driving home from church one night and she hit something in a dark road, and it turned out to be a guy on a bike who didn't have his license because he's a drunk, and he was drunk on the thing. So she called the attorneys and they said, make sure you go to the hospital and get the blood test because they're going to ask for the blood test. They're not going to accept the breathalyzer. That was critical. And he said, because you're going to be sued. And sure enough, she was sued. And because she had the blood test, everything was cleared. And it didn't. So as far as a commercial driver, they need to have that kind of info to get tested in your private auto or whatever, because it is going to impact your CDL. You know, that's why I thought I wanted to share that with you.
Good stuff.
Get the blood test. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. And that is a true to life testimony, because I know the associate that happened to. So I appreciate that story.
Yeah, we had a driver that recently that happened to. He was the owner. And it was an accident. It was an accident. And another carrier said, oh, you're good. You don't have to do that. And his insurance company was like, if you don't get somewhere and go get a test. But it caused him a lot of problems because like he didn't go like within a matter of time. It was a while before he went, you know. But yeah, I mean, but those are nuggets, guys. Those are things that you need to just have conversations with the drivers. And, you know, I promise you, if you start talking to a driver, you'll realize that you know probably a lot more than they do. And all you have to do is plug into this call and just have an intelligent conversation with them. I mean, Lamar tells us stories all the time. Randy tells us stories, all of us. You know, but it's conversations that you have with the drivers that will teach you this space. I can't tell y'all that enough. Lamar and Dunbar and everybody else that came to this call and dropped nuggets, it wasn't until I had the conversations with the drivers that it would really stick. Because one conversation will teach you how to start the next conversation and handle the objections. But until you have the conversations, you're going to always be wondering, I wonder if. So just pick up these nuggets here and go out into the market and just talk about what you hear here. You'll be surprised that they want to know more. They want to know more. Tell me more. What do you know about this? You know, so good stuff.
That's smart.
Do you guys know if they're going to have this event regulation stuff at the convention in Arizona? The COVID thing, have you heard or do you know?
What I will say, Consuelo, the event that's happening in Orlando is not a corporate event.
Right, I understand, but
so we can't. I mean, this is just a CDLP. We don't know those things about.
I understand about Orlando, but I was wondering if, as leaders in the company, you've heard if they're going to put those things in place in Arizona. That was the question. Have you
Well,
heard?
they'll announce it. I mean, we follow it just like every other associate. They don't tell us but so much either. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so good stuff, guys. And that was a really good nugget too, about taking that information, kind of like a plan to action. Because what Sharanda just said was so spot on as far as understanding that all of this stuff may sound like it works, it may sound good, it may whatever. At the end of the day, until you go out and use it, you're really not confident that the stuff that they're saying works. So somebody says, "Oh yeah, I know about the Lamar Reynolds script." The question is, have you used it? If you've been hearing about the Lamar Reynolds script for a year, have you used that script? And anybody that's spoken to me as a field trainer, you know, if you ever call me and tell me, "Yeah, I called this truck," and what did you say when you called? I ask them what they said. I want to know whether they use the Lamar Reynolds script or whether they just rambled something off. Because if you tell me you got a bad result, well, you got a bad result because you didn't do what we asked you to do.
Mhm.
If you do what we ask you to do, you're not going to get a bad result, right? You're going to get the result. You're going to get one of the options that we told you was going to happen because we said that, right? It may not be a yes, but we know the no's that you're going to get from that as well when you do that. So just keep that in mind, guys. Take the information that we're telling you guys and use it, because Lamar's, I don't know how many years he spent making that script, but he made that script through course correction. He said one thing and that didn't work. So then he added some things to it. Then he added some more to it. He kept altering it because he kept hearing responses he didn't like. So it's already been like it's been molded and created based on, use, based on it what he said being abused, and him changing it so that it will make it easier for you all. So keep in mind, you don't have to test it. He knows it works because he created it based on testing it, and then we've used it, and you see people open up groups. You heard the biggest group opener since we started this Zoom. The group with the biggest amount of people that's been opened on this call has been our June, Joshua with his group, and he used that script, right? So yeah, that's where it's at. Yes.
I have to tell you, I was in a training class with Jeb Blount this week, and I belong to his group, and I took a sequencing when how you're going to stay on top of people. Do you start with a call or an email or all that stuff? Anyway, I took the class, and we had to come up with a statement to make, and so I used Mr. Lamar's statement as the key to what I was saying, and the trainer complimented me, and she asked me if I had just come up with that on the spot. And I had to smile. I said, "No, I can't tell a lie." I said it took one of our trainers a lot of years to come up with that, but she saw it as a key statement to say to the people. And so reminding everybody here, I think Lamar said last week, it took him 10 years to refine it.
Yeah.
He didn't just come up with it one morning.
Absolutely. So the information is there, guys. You just got to use it and apply it, and then that's how you'll know that it works. Because if you don't, you're just gonna be wondering, like Sharanda said. I wonder what if when I called that company, I would have said what Lamar said to say. What if when I went in that company, I would have pulled the information like Randy said? What if when I went to that company, I would have said the statement that Sharanda said about she works with commercial from the commercial division? What if? And you don't want to constantly be saying what if. You want to actually know. So I would tell you guys all to go out and practice it, create a plan of action so that when you come back to the call next week, you're shaking your head yes, because you understand the stuff we're saying has worked because you used it. And that makes the call in the Zoom more interesting when you're actually applying what you heard the week before. So it just all makes sense, guys. So we appreciate you guys all for being here, staying with us later than 9:30, like we always end up doing. If any of our trainers have anything else to add before we close out, I'm going to open up to the trainers so we can close out.
No, just do it.
I have a question, though. I have a question.
Jim Hicks, go ahead.
Lamar, you gave some excellent examples of how you help drivers. My question is, did either one of them have the CDLP plan before you talked to them?
The first example I gave of the guy being accused of marijuana, yes, he was in my program. Last case, the associate was just presenting the CDL program to him, I believe was the case there. But here's the thing, Jim, even if they're not in our program, and they have a ticket, they'll get a 25% discount off of
Right.
a pre-existing ticket. And that saves that driver some money just to enroll in the program. And so that's a win-win for that driver. And then after 10 days of being in the program, if they happen to get another ticket, then LegalShield is paying that attorney fee.
Okay, good. That's the distinction I wanted to hear. Thank
There
you.
you go. And you know what? The good Lord just keeps giving me these nuggets. I don't know what the nugget next week is going to be, but if you'll come on this call, Clarence, if you'll be here next week, I'm sure the good Lord's going to give me another nugget to give you again next week. So you want to be keyed in on this call. I don't have all the answers, but together, all of us trainers can come up with a real good approach for you in the marketplace. And you'll find something that Sharonda or Sharon or Robert or myself may say, or Randy, that's going to really click in your brain and is something that you can really use. So I just encourage you to stay plugged in.
Well, this is like religion. I'm here every week.
Yes, sir, brother.
I got
Okay,
you. I
thanks
got
so
you.
much.
Michael, I see your hand up, Michael.
All right. Hello, everyone. I have a question. I think I have a pretty good question. There's a guy that I know that I found out that he had the CDL. You know, he had the membership, but then he dropped it. But when I checked his name and I called, I called the office and everything, and they said that when he signs up as a member this time, he'll be reinstated. So the question is, will he be covered right away after he's reinstated?
No.
Okay.
No.
You sure got to put me a bubble in my bubble. Oh my goodness.
That reinstatement
No,
means he gets to keep the same membership number, but Sharonda is right. Yeah, you got to go through the waiting period.
Ooh, that down south
Okay.
came out. She said that like down south.
I'm just sorry.
Yeah.
I was just saying, so Michael, no, he won't.
Okay.
10 days.
Well,
The
I'm glad
event-
you said that because I was letting him know that he'll be covered right away. So I'm glad
Yeah,
you said
no,
that. Yeah.
no. That's what I'm saying. Make sure you get your facts straight, because one thing in the market with the CDLP plan, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't know we have this plan because, people market the legal plan and, because of chasing PC points. And even though the CDLP plan now gives you that, it hasn't always. The commission is different with the CDLP plan. And so even though, we would hope that people would do it right, some don't. And so you have to, I just advise people just to give the right information in the market, because the market has a lot of wrong information. So, and if you're not sure, like you say, ask somebody before. But no, he has a 10-day waiting period. Reinstatement is a LegalShield statement to us. He's new to you and to the plan again.
Let me just say something to Michael real quick. The plan is effective the day that he signs up, but not all the benefits are 100%. So if he gets the ticket that day, we'll still handle that ticket for him, but it's at a 25% discount. So he does get some benefits in our program. It's just not 100% covered. All of it is 100% covered after
10 days.
There you go, brother. There you go.
Okay,
Yep.
Good question. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, appreciate it.
Somebody asked about the event. I just tagged what Jen sent to me. So the link is in there. It'll take you somewhere. I think it might take you to the room block. I'm not sure. No, it takes you to the page. It takes you to the page about the event. That's where it takes you for those that asked.
And it is a room block for that event too. So just keep in mind, because people always ask about everybody, and I know everybody's looking for a deal, guys. So don't take offense to it. I look for deals all the time too. I use the LegalShield membership website perks all the time. But keep in mind, guys, it's the art to doing anything. So I had 2 people call me today and say, "Oh, I found the resort cheaper on the membership perks." Well, you're probably not getting the same deal because the broom block probably is covering a resort fee and some other things. And if you go online and just get it, that's a resort, guys. Shingle Creek is a huge resort in Orlando, a very well-known resort. So when you go to check in, you might go to a membership site and get a $120 price. But when you get there, they're going to charge you $20, $25 for parking, and they're going to charge you a resort fee. And that's going to be on top of that cost. So just keep that in mind. A lot of times when they do room blocks, that will absorb the resort fee. So you don't have to pay that. And you're probably going to get a cheaper parking spot because you're part of that package deal. So make sure you do a thorough check. Don't just look at just price, because resorts have more than just your room price. So that's important to keep in mind.
Miss Carolyn got her hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carolyn. Go ahead.
Okay, so my question was, the person that's reinstated has an 11-day waiting period, just like a brand new person, but he can go ahead and have his issue addressed immediately, but at the 25% discount. Did I get that right?
Yep,
Even if they're not a reinstatement though.
right. Even if they were new.
Even if they
Yeah.
knew and they have a pre-existing issue,
Yeah.
they can be covered right away, but at 25%. And
Right.
25% off, I mean. So, but after 11 days, anything that happens is covered under their legal plan. So the attorney's fee is paid by LegalShield.
Yes,
Some of
and Carolyn, that's a good question, because we have a tendency of saying this, like the trainers, the field trainers, we all say this. They're not covered for 11 days. And we have to all get out of the habit of saying that, because they are actually covered. They're just covered at a 25% discount. So we say that because what we're thinking is at no cost. So they're covered at no cost after 10 days, but they are covered at 25% discount immediately when they sign up. So when you're talking about a driver that's saying, well, I got a ticket yesterday, well, it doesn't even matter. If they got the ticket yesterday, it was going to be a 25% discount anyway. So don't make them wait 10 days to fight the ticket that they got yesterday when they signed up, because it was a 25% discount anyway. So they might as well go ahead and use the plan now, because they're not gonna get it for free.
Yeah,
So
don't
just
make
get
them
on the
wait.
roll. Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
absolutely. You got it.
Good question.
Yeah.
That big thumbs up.
Good stuff. What is Sharon saying? Hold on. Not sure if you know or not, but number 1, Sharanda and myself tied for number 2 with the top field trainers for the list of Man Wednesday. Oh, I'm sorry. That was directly. No, Sharon, I'm so sorry for doing that to you. Sharon sent me a message. I'm sitting there reading it online. I didn't realize that it came directly to me. I'm sorry.
Man, I have to be recognized for that. I mean, I field train. I'm number 1 field train in 2019. I mean, they watch the expo. They can see that, but I don't do it for the kudos. I mean, seriously, I don't. I really don't. I mean, I don't. But congratulations.
I gotta
Sharon.
put it out there still. Yeah, I still gotta put it out there, because it's something that you achieved. Thanks, Robert. Something that you achieved. And then even me being 2 weeks in, and I was on the list with 3 other seasoned field trainers. So that's huge for me.
Good stuff. Good stuff. But I didn't mean to. I certainly didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. I didn't read that until I didn't see the direct message until I was reading the paragraph. I was reading it so fast. Good stuff. I appreciate you guys all for being on. We all appreciate you guys for being on. We're gonna go ahead and get closed out. We look forward to you guys next week being on here. You guys have a fantastic, successful week on purpose, and we'll talk to you guys all next week.
And we appreciate all of you guys as our trainers.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Sharon, you keep on doing it, girl. Keep on doing it.
Congratulations on you guys' accomplishments.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks for the info.
Okay, Michael Poole.
It's like, what you getting? Your little your private propeller plane to pull it off? You was like, where you at?
Sound like his scooter.
I ain't fooling around with y'all on this call, man. I'm telling you.
I'm glad I made y'all night.
I don't went to
We
sleep.
saw, we was like, the call was on, and he was like, let me get my plane to pull off. We got the little one propeller plane and got that sucker on to pull off.
Trying to give my man
Alright.
some perks. Trying to give him some perks right away, you know.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. All right, then. So y'all have a good evening.
All right, you as well.
All righty.
Look at Wanda. Congratulations, Wanda. I got an email about you today.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you.
Congratulations until we hear about it.
Hear about it too.
All right, y'all. Out.
I got a question. I got an email from somebody that I called her Friday and sent her the 3 flyers and the link. She sent me that I didn't see it till the evening. They got canceled because of their numbers, which is why I called them.
She said they got canceled.
That's what
They lost their authority.
she said, I would like to know the rate for your assistance. We currently suspended from Amazon, who they work for, due to our safety percentage. That's why I called them. And also would like to know what your rate you would be lower it. I don't know, whatever that is.
Did you just, was that you or Miss, that was you or Miss Wilma email me? Or call, text me, that, some, was that you or Miss Wilma?
No.
Must have been Miss Wilma.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
you gotta go. You gotta go stand in their parking lot in their trucks and be like, in your face. I told y'all. Don't do that.
No, I don't, but I don't.
Just call me one. Get on my calendar, Wanda.
Okay. For I was looking for it.
Field training, not DM.
Field.
All right.
Okay. Well, what about for her tomorrow? I told her I would.
You told her what?
I didn't. I emailed her and told her that I would call her tomorrow. Me and my business partner and I would.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just give me a call when we hang up. Not tomorrow.